Welcome to the Zen Zone. Let's talk about the veteran Sherman today. There is a lot to talk about. This is going to take multiple videos to get through, but we'll get through it. And along the way, you're going to have some epic footage, some beautiful scenery, and some outstanding company. First, we need to get to the front of this pack. And that's really not going to take that long. We got the Insta-One 360R and the GoPro Max. There'll be a little bit of GoPro Max footage in here. And of course, the Skydio 2. We are an all-in-one film production company, and we're going to do our best to bring you outstanding quality content, and I would like this to kind of be a dialogue. So if you have any interest in the Sherman, maybe you already have a Sherman, let's bring it all together here. Let's bring it in for a huddle. This is a totally new EUC from a totally new EUC company. There is a lot to talk about here. There's a lot going on. It's out in the wild now that people have their Shermans and are riding around on their Shermans. I'm riding around on my Sherman, and I'm absolutely enjoying every minute of it so far. There is some negatives, some positives, mostly positives. In fact, I was just back from a ride today, getting some more footage, and I was like, you know, I wouldn't mind trading all my other EUCs to have two Shermans so that I could have two Shermans and maybe keep a small one too for like quick trips. Wow. Yeah, that was actually going through my head today. It's not something I'm going to do, but that was in my mind. I was like, man, I would not mind having two Shermans. And we're going to get into why here. First, what is the Sherman? To me, it is the ultimate adventures EUC. It's a long-range cruiser with a 3,200 watt battery. This is the EUC that has the most range available with nothing on the horizon that I'm aware of. But who knows? There could always be something on the horizon that's coming out. It's like, wow, that blows away the Sherman's range. But the Monster Pro and Gotway X aren't the only ones I see that are coming up that have a bigger battery. But they're not as big as the Sherman, and they're a lot more expensive. So it's like, paying a lot more for that. But I'm excited for both of them. A hollow motor, big motor. But we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about the Sherman. Those are exciting uses. I've been riding the Sherman at high speeds, over 30 miles per hour, and having the battery to sustain those higher speeds for a longer time is awesome. I'll get about 20 to 30 miles of high speed range, then I'll start to scale back my speeds to under 33 miles per hour. When I'm below 89 volts, is when I'll start to scale the speeds back. This is probably being overly cautious for my weight, but this is a first batch Sherman. I'm already pushing it really hard, off-roading with it. It's already taken some hull damage. I've really been beating this thing up and testing it out for you guys. So is it worth $3,000 to get a new one? That's the question, right? $3,000. Some guy saw me yesterday, and that was one of the first questions. Do you mind me asking how much it is? And it's like about $3,000, and immediately he just like shut down, like blew his mind. He's like, I could get a car for that much, right? So it is a huge investment in the EUC world, and if you haven't already made it, is it worth it? Is it worth it to put down $3,000 of your hard-earned money? $2,850. Let's talk about who shouldn't buy this, and this is just my opinion, and there'll be exceptions to my opinion, of course. I don't think anybody that doesn't have safety gear should buy the Sherman, especially if they're planning on riding it at high speeds. Like if you don't have really good safety gear, hard shelled stuff, if you're gonna be riding at high speeds and you don't have really good safety gear, please don't buy the Sherman. You're not ready for it. $3,000, you need at least $500 more for good safety gear. So $3,500 for a full package Sherman. That'll pretty much be everything you need. Your helmet, your elbow pads, wrist guards, all that stuff. That'll get you there. $500 extra in good gear, good quality gear. Maybe a little bit more if you want to get some better stuff, but definitely if you're going to be riding high speeds, you want the good gear, good safety gear. So if you don't have that, please don't buy the Sherman. If you're going to be taking it, like you just want to go super long range and you're going to be going under like 20 miles an hour, then you don't need that. You don't need to be as geared up as I am here. You'll of course always want the essentials when you're riding at EUC no matter what speeds, and that's the wrist guards and helmet. At minimum, that's essential anytime you go out on EUC. And that is like a thing. Like if you want to do long distances, going super under 20, super comfortable cruiser, you can do that on the Sherman. You could probably get 80 to 100 miles range. I haven't done a long range, slow speed test, and I don't think I ever will. Because when I get on the Sherman, I just want to go, man. I want to go. Like, oh, that speed and that stability you have at those higher speeds is the feeling of it feels powerful. You feel powerful, and it feels more. It's kind of like Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, if you ever read that book, where it's like being on a motorcycle, except even the next level of that, because you're hands free. So not only are you like immersed in this space and totally in it, your hands are there too. So you're engaging with the wind, and you can feel the wind. It's amazing. I can hit the same speeds. I haven't taken my Sherman any faster than I've taken my Nikola. I've had my Nikola up to 43 miles an hour, my 100-volt Nikola. I didn't mean to be going that fast on it. I was actually here in Red Rock, and it hit a downhill and was just, man, I was just gunning it on the Nikola and hit 43.9. So that's the fastest I've been on an EUC. And I haven't went faster than that on my Sherman, and I don't really intend to. I'm pretty happy hitting the beeps at like 42, 43 in that range. Don't need to go any faster than that. More than happy to keep it there. It feels good for me at 38 is where I feel like that's like my high end feels good, but I can hit 40 on downhills, no problem. And that doesn't bother me. It's super stable and feels stable. I feel safe because it's stable, and I also still have that maneuverability, so if something happens. And with the pads, the good pads, I put the Russian leather pads on there. I have really good stopping ability. I had a Model 5 with it, so they fit my legs better. I used the Chooch baby bumper pads to put inside the mono pads, and it works really good. Gives me a lot of stopping power with the Sherman. Also has quite a bit of climbing power. I have a video I'll be posting next though, where I was climbing quite high, and my Sherman had a bit of a tumble. The next person who probably shouldn't buy the Sherman is somebody who's not able to do a tire change. If you're going to be riding as much as I am, I'm almost at 300 miles already, and I just got the Sherman. If you're going to be putting in the miles and riding long range, you're going to have to be doing, need to do a tire change from time to time, and that takes a lot of time. It can take a lot of time the first time trying to figure it out. You know, Kuji's video of him doing the tire change is only like 3 minutes long, but it's probably going to take a lot longer to do that the first time, and it's not going to be easy if you didn't have to disconnect the board. Like, if one of these days EUC companies need to make tire changes a little bit easier, there should be no electrical stuff going on when you're doing a tire change. You shouldn't need to, like, just boom, push a button, pop the tire off, and do a change. That's how it needs to be in the future, man. Tire changes are no joke. V11, S18, the Sherman, they all are not going to be fun, but you're going to need to be able to do that, or have a friend or a shop that could do it for you. So that's something you need to look into before you buy the Sherman. And if you're not planning on riding it that much, like, hey, I'm going to ride it. Some people I know like ride 200 to 300 miles a year. So on a Sherman, that'll last them, you know, like 5 years before they need to do a tire change. Right? So if you fit into that category, there's nothing wrong with going low mileage and keeping your Sherman fine for many, many years. That's not me. That's not my style. I want to put in the miles. I really want to develop my riding style. So I'm going to be putting in the miles. I'm going to need to be able to do a tire change, or have somebody do it for me. You know, you could always just go to Tucson. That's where the E-Wheel service shop is, and they will be the masters of Sherman tire changes. In my opinion, if you can't lift the Sherman at 77 pounds, if you can't lift it up, you probably shouldn't buy it, because there probably will be a situation where you need to lift it up a curb or stairs, and if you're not physically able to lift up 77 pounds, you probably shouldn't buy it. There are smaller, lighter EUCs out there that may fit your needs much better. And I'm sure there's going to be some exceptions of people that can't lift the Sherman, but ride it around just fine. So once again, this is just my opinion. And I think the final one I have for you guys, feel free to add to this list, please, is anybody that has like any sort of mental or physical disability that would not allow them to ride safely. So for example, if you have some kind of mental disability where you can't focus, like you can't drive a car, or you you're not able to stay focused. Riding at EUC is not going to help. I mean, your focus needs to be developed before you ride at EUC. When you ride in EUC, you need to be absolutely 100% focused on your own safety. You can't count on anybody else to protect you when you're on an EUC. You are responsible for yourself, and you need to ride accordingly. If you have any sort of impairment, alcohol, mental, physical, or even like you're inebriated, you're drunk or on a drug or something like that, that prevents you from being 100% focused and in the moment, don't ride the Veteran Sherman, because it is a 77-pound weight that you could run into somebody's equipment or their foot or something, or run into them. Kid comes running out of the corner. I think there has been a case of that, not on the Sherman, but on another EUC a while ago. You know, there was the case of EUC. I don't know if it's true, I didn't verify it, but he posted it himself how he was going into like a crowd with people and a kid ran out and he ended up hitting the kid and broke his leg or something like that. So it happens. People on EUCs have hit other people, and that's not something you want to do with the Sherman. So when you're riding the Sherman, you need to be 100% focused, 100% aware of your surroundings, and don't be too aggressive on the or for any EUC for that matter. Let's keep the EUC community safe. Let's keep the EUC community geared up. Let's keep the community wise. Let's take care of each other. That's it for this video. It takes a long time to upload because of the drone footage, so I'm going to cut it into a few parts. Stay tuned for more. We're going to be talking about the pedal assist, the pedal dip, and some of the other negatives in the next video. Stay tuned, hit the like button, leave a comment below what you think about the Sherman or EUCs in general. I hope you have a wonderful day, sending you all positive vibes to anyone hearing this in this moment, sending you my best. Until next time, stay in the Zen Zone.